In 2004, a case study was published in the archives of Iranian medicine following the admission of a Mr. Ali, a man who claimed to have periodically gained superhuman strength and involuntarily transformed into a werewolf. Labeled under the category of clinical lycanthropy by his psychologists, the patient in this case was a 20-year-old man from the Kazaroon region in Iran. Ali was admitted from psychiatric treatment after he had attacked and eaten several people in a frenzy, literally ripping chunks of flesh from their bones. Fortunately, no one died in these incidents. Unfortunately, this case is just one of many cases of lycanthropy in Iran that have been reported and written about by the country's mental health experts. The question is, why werewolves in particular? And could these cases be a symptom of something deeper, dangerous, and mythological? Does Iran have a werewolf problem? Tales of canine-human hybrids have been present in cultures throughout the world for hundreds of years. From the Caucasus Mountains to the Caribbean, both ancient folklore and 21st century sightings of these cryptids have been documented everywhere, from children's stories to science books. In the Middle East and North Africa, there are two significant variants of these types of anomalous creatures, the werewolf and the WereHyena. The very first concept of werewolves originated from Iran by way of the Hirkania people. The name literally means wolfland, and the Dahai who lived there in ancient times even called themselves the wolf people. In folklore, although the cause of the transformation from human to canine and back again varies significantly depending on where in the Middle East the anomaly originates from, the one consistency between them is a hunger for human flesh. In Armenia, they are known as Mardegail, and in Iran, the Kaftar, a monstrous half-man, half-hyena. Across various sites online, there are pictures and videos of alleged dead wolves or strange dog-like species in Iran that do not match any known animal. Even though there is a huge question mark on how authentic these discoveries are, the remains of these cryptids are merely the latest in the long line of strange creatures that blur the line between mythical folklore and scientific reality in Iran. Known for specifically preying on young children, the Kaftar is a creature from Persian folklore that is said to have telepathic attributes, with the ability to hypnotize and control humans before eating them. Interestingly, amongst the various real-life cases of recorded clinical lycanthropy in Iran, a common fear many patients have in addition to the involuntary turning into a wolf is the fear that they would particularly clinical lycanthropy is a rare form of psychosis, where the affected person believes they can transform into or have been transformed into an animal, usually from the canine species. In our opening case from April 2004, our patient, Ali, reported that at times he would experience psychological episodes where he was afraid that his friends and family were actually werewolves in human form. In these situations, he would feel overcome by paranoia, believing that they were going to attack and even kill him. The werewolf mythos in Persian and northern areas of the Gulf goes back to thousands of years. In the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest written stories on Earth, dating back more than 4 millennia, humanity gets its first written occurrence of werewolves. Originally written in cuneiform script on 12 clay tablets, Gilgamesh is courted by the goddess Ishtar, but he rejects and reminds her of the tragic fate of her precious lovers, one of whom became a werewolf-type creature. There it stated, "You loved the shepherd, the master herder, who continually presented you with bread baked in embers, and who daily slaughtered for you a kid. Yet you struck him and turned him into a wolf. So his own shepherds now chase him, and his own dogs snap at his shins. Assyriologist Julius Opert asserts that the belief in the werewolf was a part of the ancient Assyrian worldview, and today, psychologists state that a widespread belief in werewolves that has persisted in the region may have contributed to a psychiatric disorder in King Nebuchadnezzar, who historians say could have well suffered from clinical lycanthropy. From Iran to ancient Armenia, there are women who are condemned to spend 7 years in wolf form due to their sins. These are called mardigile. Typically, a condemned woman is visited by a jinn-type spirit carrying a wolf skin, who orders her to wear it, turning her into a dog-shaped cannibal craving human flesh. With this hunger, she wanders only at night with a telekinetic ability to unlock doors and windows, giving her free access to any home she desires. These types of werewolves cannot be killed by typical weapons. The only way to save oneself from them is to take and burn the wolf skin that was initially given to her by the spirit. After 7 years, the person returns to being a normal human being. Thankfully, no real-life cases of these instances have been recorded. At least no examples of this specific type of physical transformation have been found. However, there is a spiritual component found in the Armenian tradition of the mardigile that, at least from the perspective of those from the Abrahamic faiths, which can be used as an explanation for the possible cause for werewolfism, if it is real, the explanation is demonic possession, or the direct interaction between evil spirits and humans. The ability to distort the human form into that of an animal is a common trope, often written about in these cases. Typically, with the afflicted being controlled beyond their will to do things they do not want to do. After a physical traumatic experience in which he was badly burned across his legs and back with boiling water, an 18-year-old patient from Iran began to feel that he had somehow been changed in a real-life case. According to archives of Iranian medicine, he began to voice concerns that he had transformed his own mother into a wolf on several occasions. When asked what he thought had caused him to become this way, the patient explained that he believed he was cursed by Shah Parian, the king of the jinn from Arabic mythology. When asked to elaborate on this, he claimed that he had somehow injured the jinn's daughter when he'd accidentally burned himself with boiling water. Because he had done this, the patient claimed that the king jinn was taking revenge on him by giving him a power that he could not control, causing him to unintentionally transform his own mother into a wolf. WereHyenas, on the other hand, are a type of therianthrope and are primarily found in the African traditions that are heavily influenced by Arab and Middle Eastern cultures, in particularly Morocco and Ethiopia. While werewolves are solidly human at heart, WereHyenas begin life either as humans who can transform into hyenas or as hyenas that can disguise themselves as humans. According to folklore, they can be solitary but are also known to hunt in packs. They have been known to call out people's names at night, to taunt them and lure them away from safety, singling them out before eventually devouring them. It was believed that magicians and witches were able to transform into these creatures at will, but another Ethiopian superstition placed the blame of WereHyenas' attacks solely on blacksmiths, as it was thought that blacksmiths were particularly prone to becoming WereHyenas. This was taken to the extreme in this country, where people genuinely believed that all blacksmiths were witches or wizards who can transform into hyenas at will. According to historians, Ethiopian Christians typically accused Ethiopian Jews of being Buddha, spreading rumors that they unearthed Christian corpses and consumed them. Since Jewish men in Ethiopia were also often blacksmiths, it is commonly thought that one belief arose from the other. But it was not just Jewish men who were accused of being WereHyenas. According to the author, Carolyn Taylor Stewart, it was also widely believed that the lowest caste of laborers in Ethiopia was set to transform into hyenas at night in order to plunder graves. In the autobiographical novel The Life and Adventures of Nathanial Pearce, The author, who for a while lived in Ethiopia, recounts a story he once heard about a servant who asked for leave of absence. Supposedly, not long after it was granted, the other servants saw him transform into a large hyena and rush off across the open plain. On his return the next morning, the servant was confronted about the incident and readily admitted that he was capable of such a transformation. This true-life biographical novel also described several stories in which dead hyenas had been found with earrings on their ears, leading to an anecdotal belief that they were women who had been transformed. What do you believe? Are werewolves real? Or just a psychological phenomenon? And have you encountered or know of anyone who has seen such a creature? Whatever the case may be, press the like button, subscribe, and consider supporting this channel on Patreon. Thanks for watching.